How many fights do these legends have left? When will they retire? These are some great questions that I will be answering. I've, been in the lab for about an hour now, thinking, when will they retire? When will, how many fights do they have left? I've been thinking about it. I think I've been trying, I've been thinking, I think I came to a conclusion about, how many fights, I feel like I just keep repeating myself, but let's get into it. Let's get into it. Predicting how much fights UFC legends have left, and also when will they retire. As you can see, that is me on the left right here. That's Dana White. We're both, co-owners of the UFC. If you guys didn't know, I do have a couple shares in the UFC. I bought it when it was like 2001, I think. But now, let's get into it. The first fighter, Israel Adesanya. I have the age in the top right. As you can see, he's 36. Actually, one of the younger fighters, on the list, if I'm being real. Crazy, right? 36, one of the younger ones. I think Israel Adesanya has 3 to 5 fights left, and I think he will retire in 2028. Now, he has a fight coming up soon against Joe Pyfer. It is a big step down in competition. I think he will be winning this fight. I do think he will be winning this fight. I think he'll fight again this year. Now I don't ever see him, getting up there with the belt, number one contender shots. I don't really see those in his future. But I saw in the interview he said he wanted, I think, 10 fights more. He wants like 10 more fights in the UFC. I think that's kind of crazy. I think 3 to 5, maybe even higher, maybe like 6. I don't know. I think 3 to 5 fights he has left. I think he'll fight twice this year, maybe twice the year after, and then in 2028, whether he's doing really good. Actually, no, I don't think I don't think he's gonna fight for a belt, in the near future. But I think he'll still be here and there. You know what I mean? I think 2020 he retires. He'll be I think like 38 at the time. I think that's a good age to retire. I like Izzy. He's a legend. Style bender, bro. Oi, what's All right. I was trying to do a spinning elbow, but I almost just broke everything in my. All right. I don't know if you guys saw that, but what was I saying? Legend of the game, absolute legend, Israel Adesanya. I like to call him Izzy. I call him Izzy because we're boys. But nah, I think he has 3 to 5 fights left. Yeah, I feel like I'm dragging it. Next up, I think we have Alex Pereira. I think we only have 2 to 3 fights left of Alex Pereira, bro. I think obviously he's 38 years old. He's the oldest guy on the list. Him and someone else are on the oldest guys on the list. 38 years old. Damn. Holy Unk. I think he only has 2 to 3 fights left, bro. I'm being real. I think obviously he has a step into heavyweight. He doesn't, bro. He's gonna fight a heavyweight next. Let's be real. Like, I'm pretty confident his next fight is going to be a heavyweight for the belt, probably, or interim belt, or something like that. Whether he wins it or loses it against Aspinall or whatever, I think either win or lose, I think he still has 2 to 3 fights left. Because if he wins, he'll probably defend it once or twice, and then he'll probably be 39 at the time. And bro, come on, 39, and you're still, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to retire after that. And then if he loses it, I feel like Alex Pereira is not going to end on a loss, bro. I feel he's going to come back and gonna end on a win. I just feel it. So I think 2027. I think he'll fight this year for the belt. Maybe defend it again this year, and then maybe defend it again next year. I think that's when he will retire. He'll be 39. Damn, 39 years of age by then. And I think that's a perfect time to retire. Good little ending of a storyline. I think it'll be really good. I could see him retiring, without losing, or I could see him, maybe losing a heavy. Actually, no one's touching him at heavyweight. Let's be real. But yeah, with that being said, damn, you only have 2 to 3 fights left of Pereira, bro. I don't know why I could see Pereira retiring and then coming back for some reason when he's like 40. I don't know why I could see it. Someone calls him out, he's gonna come back. I don't know. I don't know why I see that. But moving on to, I think Justin Gaethje is up next. Volkanovski, my fault. Volkanovski's up, bro. Volkanovski, 37 years of age, obviously one of the GOATs of the game, definitely featherweight GOAT. I think he only has 1 to 2 fights left. I'm being real. 1 to 2 fights left. And I think he will be retiring in 2027. Now, obviously, he just won against Diego Lopez. Great performance, a little, a pretty good performance. You know what I mean? A lot of people were kind of assuming that if he lost against Diego Lopez, he would have retired, and I think that's the case, bro. I think if he lost his last fight, I think he's retiring. So in his next couple of fights, if he loses, I think he retires. 100%. Either he retires or maybe he moves up a weight class. I don't know, has like a couple of fun fights or something like that. So I do think his next fight will be against Movsar. I see him beating Movsar. So boom, that's one fight. And then his next fight, either he retires right after that, because he'll probably be 38 years old by then. 30, damn, Unk, holy. I think in 2027, he will either lose and then retire, or he'll have like a storyline ending where he wins and then retires in 2027. This year, I think he'll fight again, maybe once, and then next year he'll retire his retirement fight. Bro, if you retire, he's actually might be the GOAT. If he wins 2 more times, it's not a GOAT video. I'll make that video in the future. My top 10 all the time. But bro, if he wins and he has like a couple of good performances against Movsar or maybe Gene Silva or something like that, bro, he can be GOAT. I'm not gonna lie. He could actually be, one of the GOATs. Well, he already is one of the GOATs, but he could be like up there, like number 1 maybe. Who knows? But yeah, I think 1 to 2 fights for Volkanovski. Sucks to see it, but yeah. Moving on to Justin Gaethje. How many fights does Justin Gaethje have left? I think he has 1 fight left. I don't know if you guys agree with me on this, but he's 37 years old. Not too old. Not too old. I think he fights Topuria on the White House card, and I think he retires, bro. Either that, or maybe he fights like a BMF belt or something like that. I don't know. I feel like after that he's retiring, because he knows. First of all, Justin Gaethje, he literally said, I remember, after he lost to Oliveira, his first fight back against Fiziev, the first fight, he was literally like, yo, this is my last run to the title. I'm making my last run. And then boom, he's making it. He's getting a title shot right now, probably, right? But just the fact that he was literally like a year ago when he was, trying to get the title shot against Islam, the fact that he was like almost about to retire then, and kind of like complaining like, oh, I deserve this, I'm gonna retire if not. The fact that I kind of feel he already has like 1 foot out the door back then, and obviously, he beat Patty, got a good interim belt. The interim belt. Yep. He's gonna fight Topuria. I think he loses, and I think he retires, bro. It's not a bad way to retire either, bro. Retiring on the White House lawn. He's like, I think he's like really American or something. I don't know. He likes America, so yeah, that should be good. That should be a good ending to him, bro. I'm being real. So yeah, I think 1 fight left. He retires this year. Crazy. Moving on. Kamaru Usman, the last guy on the list. I think he has 2 to 4 fights left, bro. I don't know why. Even though he is, I think, the oldest guy on the list. He's coming off a really impressive win against Joaquin Buckley. I don't think the UFC will give him a title shot next. I think he will have a number 1 contenders fight. And even if he loses it against a guy like who should he fight? Even if he loses it against a guy like who? Like Prates or what's it? Michael Morales. Even if he loses to one of those guys, his next fight, I don't know why. I just don't see him retire. I don't know why. Even though his knees are bad, I just see him getting at least 2 to 4 fights, bro. And I think he'll retire in 2028. I don't think that's the thing. I don't think he's gonna be very active. Like he'll fight like once, maybe twice a year, right? But I could see him moving up to middleweight if he loses, and then I could see him doing some good stuff at middleweight, bro. Even if, bro, the fact that Kamaru Usman, 38 years old, I don't know why I could see this guy being high level at 40, bro. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the CEO of EPO or whatever Colby Covington was saying about him, but bro, I could just see him still being a beast at 40. I think he has 2 to 4 fights left. And I think retires in 2028, similar to Izzy, as I said earlier. You know what I mean? That is all I have for the. Actually, I probably should have done more videos. This video, I probably should have done more people. This video is only about 10 minutes long, but all right, it's a little short video. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, that is all. If you guys agree with me, yo, what is this? Oops. If you guys agree with me, put them in the Yo, this is messed up. Put them in the comments if you guys agree with me or not. How much fights do you think these guys have left? I put my opinion out there. You know what I mean? When do they retire? Who should I make a part 2 of this video? There's a lot of legends, bro. There's a lot of people I could put. I could put Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira. I could do every champion. Bro, that's not a bad little video if you're asking me. But with that being said, subscribe, whatever. I'm out of here.